Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game featuring Diatoms. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played and then share a few things I might like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Diatoms to your collection. This is the game Diatoms. It's a game of microscopic proportions. You can see how cool the cover is. So this is a strategy game, and our goal is to lay some tiles onto our board, and we're trying to get them to mirror each other to gain the more points. If you have the same color in the same shape, you get extra points. If you have the same color or the same shape, you'll get some points. But I'll show you as the game goes how we're doing that. So over here we have what's called the water tiles. And during this game we're going to be placing tiles, and that's going to be deciding what we get to place in our board. So you start by placing two tiles. This is the base tile, and we add a second tile from the pile just to start the game. So now on your turn, I get to choose one of these tiles to add to my set over here. And then I get to choose which one I want to put in. Now I need to have both sides matching. So I have this tile here where both sort of the orangey red and the yellow match. Now these tiles mirror, so you can turn it over to see which side works for you. So by putting this here, what I would do next is get my little microscope and put it down. And you can see I have a pie of 4 and a pie of 2. Then you can refer to your book, and it shows you if you have 1 6, 2 6, 3 4, 5 6, what you get to do. So in this case, I get to get a 2, an oval in the yellow, and I get to get a square in the reddish color. So I move over here and I get an oval in the yellow and the square. So now I'm going to add them to my board. And all the areas you can have one of two shapes. So I could put the yellow oval there, and I could put the red square here if I wanted. I could also have the opportunity to put it there. Maybe I'll do that to start. And then once your pieces are placed, you leave them. So then the next person would go, and I'm just going to take a tile off here and place it somewhere as if they placed it. We're not going to get their pieces though. They would get their pieces, and it's back to our turn. So maybe I would grab this piece to add to my set, but I could probably play it here. So see what I mean? Again, it's mirrored. I could do this, and I'm going to have a similar breakdown of pieces. I have a 2 and a 4, which means I get another oval in the yellow, and this time my square is purple. So I get an oval yellow and a purple square. So I know right away I want to put that oval there. So now I have the repeating of the same shape and same color that's going to get me points. But I have a purple square, and because it's early in the game, I don't want to put it here. Even though it's the same shape, I'm going to hold out to see if I can eventually get a red square. So I might put it here in a different area to try and get points in this zone here for repeating. I'll do one more for now. So maybe the opponent goes, they might put something here. Now I'll just show you this since it is, we won't get the things, but since it's a 6, how all of them are the same, then you get the option. You can get a 1 and a 5, so a circle and a star, a 2 and a 4, which is an oval and a square, or 2 triangles. So sometimes this is a really good time to get 2 triangles since they'll both be yellow. And then you could place them on your board and have automatically the mirrored image on the side. But that was our opponent's turn, not ours. So I am going to pick another tile. I might pick this one into my zone. Now I could put this here, but we're going to get that same pattern again. So I'm trying to see what can I do that will give us something a little different. This again is going to give us 2 and 4. What do I have over here? Okay, let's do this because this will just give us something a little different, not just 2 and 4. So if we do this, we have 3 2s. So that means they're all the ovals. So I get a yellow, an orange, and a green oval. So I get a green, a yellow. I call it orange, it's red, whichever color you want. Now, because I have more ovals now, I have to decide. They're all different. So I might put one here. I might put one here, because then that would repeat there, that would repeat there, that would repeat there. And I could put one here in hopes to repeat there. So you get some idea of how we are laying down our water tiles, and this is determining which color and what size shape we're doing, and then adding it to our board. Now I'm going to work through it a bit more so you can see how the board builds up. So I just want to show you, I got to a position like this where I have a piece that can be put in. Now, when it's white, it is a water piece, and so that doesn't have to match. So when I put it here, I'm actually connecting this corner and this corner, allowing me to get all the pieces for here as well as here. So when I put it here, I have a 2 and a 4, and that gives me a green oval and a blue square. And then when I go to the opposite corner, I get a 2 and a 3, so I get a yellow oval and a green triangle. So now I have all of these pieces to put into my board. Now at this point, I don't need any more ovals. I have more ovals than I can use. Now I do have this blue square. I did manage to get opposite squares there, but I might put a square around the top because you get points for the different shapes you have going on in the different areas. So even though it's not going to give me any repeats, I might just put a square up here just to gain a point later. As for these, it doesn't matter. There's ovals all over my board. I have way too many ovals. So I can just put them wherever I want at this point. They're not going to get me any points. However, I will get points. I'm adding up all the colors. So you still want a lot of pieces on the board in different colors to get you different points. And now I got a triangle. This is actually the first triangle I got so far. And so I may just put it here. That way I have a triangle in this row, and maybe I can get another one. So I'm just going to finish out this game. We don't have many pieces left. Maybe my opponent will take this piece, and they technically could put it here and gain themselves the double. I'll just show you with the thing. They would get a yellow circle, a blue circle, and then a yellow oval, as well as getting a blue triangle, and then you don't get anything for the white. So you can get multiple pieces if you're able to fill in a place like that. And so now I'm down to these pieces. I can take one, which one I'm just sort of looking around. I might take this piece. If I put this piece here, I now get to choose because it is the 6. So I think I'll take 2 green triangles. So by doing that, I will, for one, be able to score that. And then I might put a triangle in a row up here to gain a point for the number. If I put it here, potentially it could get repeated there if I get another. So then the other player will go. They might just put it here as well to get the 6. And then we're just playing out. I didn't leave the pieces for the other player, so I have 2 pieces left that I'll just finish off. So maybe if I put it here, more ovals. I'm not putting it there. There's only so many ovals somebody can get. Now I can't get the bonus here because the purple's only 1. So it doesn't work there. So I'm looking, I can put it here. That again gives me a 6. So I can take 2 triangles that I put a green one here, but I have this area, so I could put a red and a red triangle there. And then for my last piece, too bad I can't take advantage of that. Okay, let's just sort of glance around. I have that, oh, that's that place with the 2. We're trying to avoid any more ovals. Where else can I go? Sure, I could go here. I might just go here. Oh, look, by going there, I actually get the 2 corners because of all the water. So here I get 2 green circles and 1 yellow oval. So I'm going to grab that, a green circle and a yellow oval. And then on this side, I get a orange oval, red, whichever, and then a green circle and a purple circle. And it's good because I didn't have any circles. So I might put, let's see, how are we going to do it? These can go anywhere. I don't need them. They'll count for colors. But these, because I could put that there so they will be opposites. But where else can I put a circle? I can put circles in places. I'm just saying there's this one. So the question is, do I want to do that? I'll get points for the same shape, or do I want to put a circle in a different thing? I think I'll put them opposite. It means I don't have a circle in this row or this circle here, a circle in the circle, but I will get points for both having circles on the opposite ends. And so this would be our completed board before we go into scoring. So now we're going to score. And the first thing we want to do is matching colors. And this is colors throughout your entire board. So we start with red. And what I'd like to do is sort of just go around. So I have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I put down, I had 7 red. And then yellow was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow. Green was the one I had a lot of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I only had 2 blue and 4 purple. So you can see here, depending how many you have, if you have 3 or more, you get 5 points. 5 or more is 20, and then 8 plus is 40. And so that's why getting all those pieces back here, the ovals, even though I don't need them for certain scoring, they all added to my points in terms of color. So throughout the game, you might be adding up how many you have of something. Because if you're short one to get that 8 of one color, when you're laying your tiles, you might be looking, how can I get one piece? I don't care what piece it is. I just want another purple. So I can bring it over the 8 count to get me 40 points, because you can gain a lot of points here. So the second section has to do with symmetrical pairs. So if we come to the board and we're looking at this line, in the center, I get 5 points because they were both ovals but different colors. Here, they're both squares, and in purple, I get 15 points. Then you move lines. So this line, they're both squares that are red, I get 15 points. They're both ovals that are green and red triangles. So those were all 15 points. Then we move to this middle line. They're both yellow ovals, green triangles, and then these were both circles but not the same, so you only get 5 points. And we move to this final line where they're both green circles and red ovals. Now, because there wasn't another triangle here, I do not score any points. But you get to see, this is what I mean by being symmetrical or mirrored. You get 15 points if they are exactly the same shape and color, and 5 points if they have one of the attributes that are the same. And you put it down here on your thing, your center for this row, your middle for this row. It's a little grid, and in the end, I scored 130 points for that section. Now the last thing we are scoring is for different shapes. And we're talking about in the middle area, or the right center, and then the middle, and then the outside. So when you come over here, you're counting the zone. So here I have 1, 2, 3 different shapes, and then they got repeated. Here I have the 1, 2, 3 again. And on the outside, I managed to get 4 different shapes. And that's why before I was wondering, where I was placing my circles, knowing I didn't have any circles in the middle. Would it be beneficial for me to place it here or to place both circles on the outside to get those points? And that's what I was weighing. So in the end, I only had 3 in that row, so it got me 5 points. I had 3 again, 5 points, and then the bottom I had 4 different shapes, which got me 20 points. So for this section, I scored 30. The next section is like a little mini expansion that comes with the game that we didn't use. And so in total, I scored 245 points for my mosaic. Now there is a solo version that comes with the game, and they call it Mosaic Commissions. And what it is they give you what your goal is. So in this case, they just want you to fill in this part. It doesn't matter, they don't care what color or which shape you use. As long as you're able to fill in that, you get to pass. Now they have these cast off dishes, and these are the top parts of the dishes that come with the game. And what it is if you get a piece that you cannot place in this zone, then you have to put it in the dish. And each dish would hold up to a 6-pointer. So it could be 1 circle and 1 star equals 6 pie pieces, right? Or as we said, 2 triangles equals 6, or a square and an oval. That is the equivalent to the 6 pie pieces. It could even be, instead you could have 1 and then you could have an oval and you can have a circle. Anything that equals 6. Once you fill that, you move on to the next one. And if you fill all of these before completing this, then you lose and you have to try again. So it starts off fairly easy. The next one at number 2, now they want specific colors or specific shapes in some of them. Then we get a little difficult, but you get more dishes. You now have 4 oval dishes. Actually, it's here first, 3. So this one is, they want A and B must be the same, they must match. Those ones have to match for it to pass. Then here, they're even more specific with colors that it must be. So they get more and more difficult as you go. Like only getting greens and yellows, that's very difficult. So it is fun to play solo. You just have pieces over here and you're just placing them by yourself. You have so many pieces to start with, I think. Actually, I think you can use as many pieces as you want until you fill your dishes. So you're placing pieces, getting these, placing them onto your board to try and match whichever picture you are trying to coordinate. So it is a very fun and challenging solo mode to the game, allowing you to play by yourself. So overall, I really enjoyed this game. I was able to pick it up at PAX because I know it's going to come out later this year, but I was very excited when I saw it. I grabbed it. It was one of the first few games I bought. And so what I really like is the strategy behind the game. So I like that you're using tiles and you're deciding where I place this tile is going to depend what I get. So like having a 6 is great because you get to really choose the combination of tiles you want. Or am I looking for that final blue? So I have to make sure I'm looking for that blue oval. And so you're using your piece. And at the beginning, you might be getting random tiles. But as you're building up your mosaic, you're like, how do I get another circle in the purple to match that so I can get my first points, full points? Or am I looking for another red? I want my 8th red piece so I can get more points that way. And so there's a lot of thinking involved in terms of how am I placing my tiles to get the pieces to earn the most points. And even when you play solo, it's very challenging. I played one level where I got everything. I needed 1 piece and I filled like half my little petri dishes with errors just trying to get my final piece of the puzzle. So it's a really fun strategy game. So the only things we could really come up with that we dislike possibly is the fact that we still have all these open spots at the end of the game. So we wish we'd have a few more turns to try and have a few more opportunities to fill some of them. But that could always be a house rule. You could always start with a few more tiles to give each player a few extra turns. The other thing is it's part of the game, but just sometimes that frustration of needing a specific color or shape and just not having the tiles in your hand to get them. But that is part of the strategy of the game. So it's not necessarily a dislike, it just could be a frustration in the game. When we played this game, we ended up playing a couple games back to back because we played it and people are like, wow, that was a lot of fun. And people did really well. And they're like, we know how to play now. And we played it again and then people did really bad. So each game will vary depending on the tiles you have and what you're placing and where you may think, oh, a red square, how can I go wrong? And then never get a red square again. So it all varies. The game is replayability is really high because the placing of these tiles is what you're using to choose the pieces you're putting in your mosaic. So if you like strategy games, I would highly recommend this game. I really enjoy it. I was very excited to get it, and I can't wait to. I've played solo about 3 rounds. I'm on the 4th one now, and it's really challenging. So I can't wait to play that a bit more and then play it with Mark and Gemma as well. So let me know if you have played Diatoms and what you think of this game.